Tonight we migrate to the south of the from the south of the Iberian Peninsula to the outskirts of Florence and to the 5.2-kilometer long Mugello circuit for the second round of the Indy Euro Series Season 2. With its flowing and fast swooping corners and long straights, it makes for a brilliant sequel to last week's season opener. They're creeping ever closer to the line as we go green flag racing for the second round of the Indy Euro Series, and it is Sikorski leading the way, but he's challenged already by Jake Williams, who looks to go around the outside into turn one. It's around the outside for Jake Williams. They're still side by side as we see a couple drivers going wide in the background, but it is Sikorski still leading the way from Williams, Dvorak and Kay Boutzman in fourth. I believe Thomas Wright that was also missing his rear wing, in fact, because we see it's gotten very, very dark here on the outskirts of Florence, as we see Timo van Haften going off the track. So he's already had an incident as he's lost his left side pod. We're on board with Bernardin, who looks to have lost half of his front wing as well. So there's been a lot of contact on this opening lap, but still no safety car as we see now Merlijn Brewers. And there's actually a lock-up into the pits. We did not see a repeat, thankfully, of drivers coming together on pit entry, but there's been a lot of action on that first lap, resulting in a lot of carbon fiber also being dropped around the track. So this could throw a big spanner into the works of some of the drivers. So both of these drivers want to have the P15 position. Payne is going to have the outside for turn one. Van Gastel will have the inside. He's going to be squeezed a little bit to the outside and onto the gravel, but Payne looks to have the pace though. He's on the alternate tyres and Van Gastel goes deep, so David Payne is up into 15th position so far as we ride on board with Langley, and he does not fight it that much. Thinks better of it. Still got another 37 minutes left of this race, so a lot can still happen. We might be feeling a little bit of that tyre wear now for the alternates as David Payne continues to be making moves now up into 13th position past the very impressive starter in Ben Sieber. The first lap with, a lot of cars jumbled together. Right off board with Alexander Strobel into turn one though. It's a bit of a concertina effect. I think that was Thomas Wright there having a spin in the middle of the pack. And that probably is the result of where he lost his rear wing. And there's contact between him and Kostek Solovey, and a lot of drivers now involved in that incident. So let's get another angle of that. And it's down the inside from Wright, and not really the space given there. And it's quite a slam dunk incident, I say. Stewards will certainly be paying attention to that. The track temperature's actually gone down significantly as well at this stage, down to 32 degrees. So, the humidity is more or less the same as it was before, as we see now Ruvers making a move on Kirkenbauer. He's under some threat as well from Solovey, but Kirkenbauer does not want to give this one up though. He's going to have the outside though for turn two. Can Ruvers make it stick? Seems to have it stuck, but Kirkenbauer is still on the inside, but had to concede in the end though. So it's Ruvers up into 17th position so far, but Kirkenbauer is going to have to look both forward and backwards now as he's got the very quick Solovey right behind them to Ruvers. But down the inside we'll see Solovey. But into the pits now goes Jake Williams, so he strikes first of the front runners, getting off those alternate tyres. But is it a good strategy though? We see the rain could be coming as Kovala goes down. Oh, that looked very, very quick into the pit lane. Hot into the pits, trying to make every 10th count, as we see, of course, our race lead. There's been a caution on track now, so safety car has been called out, and that could be having some major implications on the race, with, of course, Williams already in the pits, and then I believe there has been a big explosion after that or something. We'll have to guess. We'll actually have to guess, but with the puff of smoke that we saw there and the lack of front wing, I expect that he went into the back. I think that was one of the Cuda Motorsport blue drivers. As we now look to go green again here in the Indy Euro Series, as Sikorski has actually picked up a black flag as well on pit entry. So it goes from bad to worse for Sikorski, as Jake Williams has basically been handed, the race lead and a very, very strong position to take victory here in the feature race. think there's actually been contact as well for Ben Sieber. Merlin Roovers has also picked up a black flag, and the caution has been called out straight away again. Right off board with Roovers, the driver picking up a black flag, and into the back he goes, and that is Pim van Gastel also going into the side of him. That is going to be, his chances of a very good position. Unfortunately, I think over for him. Just ran into the back of the driver in front, and then picking up a penalty, I believe, for incident limit. And, Van Gastel can't really do much. Halfway down the straight, no concertina effect as it looked like, and it's green flag running until the end of the race. And I already saw Thomas Wright making a move on Alexander Strobel, as we see almost 3 wide behind them into turn 1, as it's Kovala having to defend from both David Payne and Wojciech Dvorak. Dvorak obviously on those alternate tyres is going to swoop around the outside. Payne hits the curb on the inside, but he can't really defend at this stage. He's going to try and hang on around the outside. Smith is going to look to go past him as well. Payne does not fight it too much. His points are up for grabs here, as we see Langley now defend the inside from a man Lal, who makes a move around the outside as we head into the fast swooping sector. And Kostek Solovey, who was involved in the incident in the previous safety car, is now looking to make a move past him as well on the primary tyre. We see a lot of moving down into the Arabiatas, I believe they're called. See Micah Mixer in the mix of all things. Yeah, I got that one. But with that said, he's actually picked up a black flag, as well as Jerene Koprivnik, as we see Harry Ward showing off his best rally skills. As we now look at Luke Smith, who's made his way up into the podium positions, hunting down Wojciech Dvorak, and the gap to the leader has come down ever so slightly, and down the inside goes Kirkenbauer on Tibor. And I did say there was going to be, now down the inside goes Lal, but Tibor's not going to let it go, has to concede, I think, as now Solovey finds a way down the inside as well. So those primaries definitely not up to temperature for Tibor. And now he's under attack by Strobel, and there's contact between the two of them. So Tibor dropping from the middle of the top 10 now into the clutches of the charging pack down in 13th and 14th. So Bouncman's going to have the inside. Tibor's going to try and hang it round the outside, but into the marbles he goes. But he's got to go, and he's actually lost it on traction. Spun across the track, no one collecting him, thankfully. It's down the long main straight. There's going to be a car exiting the pit lane right in front of them, so that could complicate things a lot. But round the outside of turn 1 goes Luke Smith. Can he keep it? He can't really. Dvorak fights back. Smith is going to have the inside. There's a lap car on the outside, but it is Smith down the inside, and he's got second place for the moment. But can he keep it, though? Dvorak is a very quick driver, and he's shown it all throughout qualifying. He actually out-qualified Smith. With that said, before with the netcode, as Lala looks to make a move down the inside into the last corner, Ward does not defend it. It's going to be very tight between the two of them. We saw netcode between Kirkenbauer and Lal before.
Hi friends, producer here, Julian Altena. Apparently Philip Ansel is having some microphone issues, so we'll give this one the finish it deserves. Currently looking at the battle for P7. With Timo van Haften, Aman Lal and Harry Ward. Looks like the leaders on the last lap of the race. Out of the last corner, Jake Williams is going to win the race. But we have to keep an eye on the battle for P7 in the background, so we'll switch our attention to that right away. As Van Haften goes defensive into the final corner. Aman Lal looking to get the better exit, but not able to do so. Unless he can get a run on the line, it's going to be close. It's going to be a photo finish. Oh, I think Aman... he just barely missed him. By a couple of thousandths of a second. You can see on the ticker, 6 1,000ths of a second is the difference between Van Haften and Lal. As Thomas Wright completes the top 15 in the background.
The rain did not hit the feature race, but it has arrived for the sprint race, and it is going to be staying. So this is going to really test the drivers. Has Solovey and Fairweather played an absolute masterstroke here? We're starting on the dry tyres, or is it going to be too wet? No, there is quite a lot more spray here, though, in the middle part of the track, as Solovey is actually jumping straight into the pits. That is going to cost them a penalty as well, I'm afraid. So it's going to go from bad to worse for Solovey as Tibor now gets us underway for the sprint race here. A lot of wheel spin as they go racing into turn 1. A lot of spray as well, so it's going to be difficult to see behind. Thomas Wright has actually taken the lead already into turn 1, I believe, as we see Kirkenbauer having... Oh, there's a big contact! That's Jake Williams! So the race winner from last time out is gone flying across the track. He's somehow not broken his car completely. Safety car cannot be called out on the first lap, and that's just shown how treacherous it is out there on track. It is Franek's Sikorski's gone all the way past everyone up into first position as the drivers squabble for track position and a little bit of grip, but there's contact between Chloe Lord and Aman Lal as they go down the inside. It just shows how quickly it's rained here. It's basically like a river, and Lal is trying to go for a switchback now on Lord, down around the outside, just trying to find the grip. Lord has to concede for the moment, but tries to stick around the outside now as we head into the Arabiatas. And Lord goes all the way around the outside, just showing the different lines and where you've got to try and find grip. And off the track now goes Kirkenbauer, so it goes from bad to worse for him, unfortunately. And down the inside now, just ahead of them all, is Ben Ford making a move on our pole sitter, Gilagi, who's dropping down a little bit now, down to 6th position, but it's Sikorski at the front from Thomas Wright, and Boutsman up into 3rd. And down the inside now goes Lord! Hasn't paid off this time, goes off the track, but keeps the car facing in the right direction, losing out to Aman Lal, who's looking very squabbly through the final chicane. It's been very, very hectic so far. Philip Kovales picked up a meatball flag as well in 12th position. So it's been super, super hectic so far, and into the pits goes Kovala. So unfortunately for him, not the sprint race he would have wanted. There is still the possibility of a safety car, and with the rain being the way it is, I would not be surprised if we saw it come out at some point this race. It's actually hammering it down at this moment. I mean, we're running close to what you would call a red flag conditions in real life, as we see Alexander Strobel now dropping down a couple positions down into 5th place, as Ben Ford has made an absolutely stonking start to this race, up 9 positions into 4th place. Now he's certainly someone that appreciates the rain more than some others might do. Now Boutsman under threat from Ford, and actually 2 drivers going straight on at turn 1. That's Boutsman and Lal, both of them going straight on. So aquaplane, that just shows how much water has been left out onto the track. The cars themselves will be oh my god, Boutsman almost lost it into turn 2. So it just shows how treacherous the track is at the moment. It's all about staying on the black stuff and not going offline too much and into those very, very slippery marbles. There's battles all over the place as Chloe Lord is dropping down heavily now in the field from her 5th place all the way down to 12th. So, you know, there's the incidents happening all over the place as we now ride on board with Merlin Rouvers, and into the pits goes Boutsman. So deciding to pit very early. Feel it around the outside as we see Smith now go very deep into the fast swooping right-left chicane. But he's got some insane grip around the outside. He just zoomed past Kirkenbauer, who seemed to have had a bit of a moment there. There is gravel on the outside line as well. So, you know, they just have to find the grip where the rubbered line is not. And down the inside of Gilagi, and there's just a bit of contact between Smith and Tibor. And Kirkenbauer finds a way past now around the outside, but it finds a puddle as well on the exit, and is going to be held up. So Gilagi looks to have got the move back around the outside. Can he keep hold of it, though? It looks like he's got it for the moment. But yeah, now, there's a driver going very slowly there. That's David Payne. So I wonder if he's got some sort of problem or not, because the car looked very, very slow. That was a weird place to see the car go at that speed as well, as Kirkenbauer now back up into 12th position. And Luke Smith now running in 10th as we now look on the battle for 2nd position. These guys were fighting it out for the lead earlier. It's for 2nd place, as Sikorski now up into 2nd position is going to give Wright a lovely cloud of spray to try and negotiate into turn 1. He's gone actually deep, almost half lost the car as he touched the white line on the exit. And then Sikorski's gone round, so it's gone from bad to worse for the race leader. And that just shows how quickly it can go, as we see now Lal down the inside of Van Haften. He's got half a front wing on his car. Van Haften's going to try and get the switch back down into the Arabiatas. And Lal goes off the track, and there's not going to be any grip there whatsoever as the rain continues to intensify. So Ford deciding to box early compared to the front runners. So might we see them, the other two, come in quite soon, as we see Tibor now on the back of Thomas Wright. Pit stops are on the cards for some of the drivers, perhaps, as Smith now tries to go around the outside. He's actually gone off the track and into the gravel trap, and that's not going to give him any speed whatsoever as he tries to somehow recover back onto the race line right in front of Timo van Hampden. I believe he's lifted off, right before the line, so he's not going to get that extra lap, so he might actually, keep this in the end, Sikorski. It is absolutely everything to play for here as Williams and Solovey are going side by side into turn 1. But it is obviously the final lap of the race. I think Ford has gone deep, as also Jake Williams goes deep into turn 1. He has spun around. He has led the race. It looked like it wasn't going to be his day, but he is going to come across the line and he's going to win the sprint race here, Sikorski, with a bit of very cheeky tactics to secure himself another race victory here in the Indy Euro Series. And Thomas Wright coming across the line in second position, and Ben Ford, who had to do that splash, comes across in third, ahead of Luke Smith in fourth, and Timo van Hampden will come across in fifth for his best position, I believe, in IES